board as well. Yeah, so we will be following this game. This is, of course, a very, very principled duel. I believe Magnus is looking for a revenge. Well, with the black pieces, even though the setup he went for is, well, I'd say solid, but not the most aggressive, right? We've seen what Grischuk was playing with black. It was the King's Indian, right? And now the Queen's Gambit with Bishop f4, Knight d7. That's very solid, of course, for black, but nowhere near as aggressive as Grischuk's King's Indian. Well, Knight b to d7. Let's see what Grischuk is going to play. c5. Well, and then this is kind of a modern, well, not that modern anymore, but the initial idea in this position with black playing knight d7 was to meet c5 with knight h5 and exchange the f4 bishop.
Queen a4?
Queen a4 is somewhat surprising.
Usually these moves are in the positions when king is still not castling.
It's like you give a check or you pin the knight. Here it's a little bit surprising. I guess the whole point is to say if black plays b6 somewhere, white's gonna take and queen c6 is the rook b8. No, I thought
no, 7 pawn is
white
hanging.
can
c7 pawn is hanging.
Yes, c7 pawn is hanging. Yeah, okay, maybe. No, but just in general, like if black plays b6, white takes, and black cannot recapture with a pawn. I mean, I thought that could have been an idea. All right, so black takes on c3, bc3,
and c6.
c6.
I wonder what is black's strategy here, because he had whole evening to prepare the opponent against the opponent.
I'm not sure if Magnus spent all the evening preparing against Grischuk. Still, it's a blitz, you know. So and the tournament is very tiring. So I don't really think
not even check what to play. I don't believe in that.
No, I don't think. I mean, well, probably you do check what your opponent plays, but they've played so many games against each other, and it's, you know, in blitz it's obvious that it can be anything in terms of the opening. Right. So, well, we've seen Magnus playing 1g6, and how do you prepare against that, for example? All right. Rook to e8, bishop to f6. Yeah, the key idea for black, of course, is to try to play e6, e5. Yeah. So, well, it's interesting. Grischuk was the one to play a surprise move, queen a4. But he's the one as well who spends more time.
Really quickly, this move.
Yeah, he played pretty quickly, but now he's the one who used more time. Now it's half a minute difference in favor of Magnus Carlsen. Well, do we have, on your screen, Katie, could we check if there are early results, like maybe some early draws somewhere? Not really, not really. It's the first game of the day, so everyone
They have all the energy,
and
they are ready to fight.
Wants to play. And Grischuk is the first to try to open the center with e3, e4. This moving the pawn in the center. So now it is important. e4, e5. Now it will be really, really sharp game. e5, knight takes, bishop takes, bishop takes. D takes on e4.
So the idea is if bishop takes e4, there is f6 move.
Oh, really? Yes, you're right. Yes, you're right. Bishop e4, f6, but, you know, f6.
What is hidden?
No, Magnus decided just to take. No, I thought f6, white could really play f4, and if you take with the pawn, he takes with the pawn, sacrificing the piece, but somehow it would have been some compensation. Let's see what goes on now, because black is almost fine. Let's put it this way. Black is almost fine, so he needs like one or two moves.
Like to develop this bishop from c8.
Now, for instance, he wants bishop f5. Well, the thing is that he still needs to finish the development. Queen d4 I like for Alexander Grischuk, creating a threat of queen captures on e5. Well, queen d4, it's still bishop f5. So one has to be careful. One has to be careful. Bishop f5, bishop to f5 is actually a serious threat. And Grischuk is down to not so much time left. He went f4, where pawn on c5 was gone with a check. Rook goes back to e7. Yeah, I think black is totally fine. I mean, black is much better. I mean, unless there is some move to stop black's development of black's bishop. Because if black gets to play bishop e6, he's just a pawn up for nothing, more or less.
Grischuk has only 6 seconds on the clock.
Yep, queen c2, g6 and h3. So no comfortable development for black, but bishop d7 is fine, and then the other rook comes to e8. Yeah, Magnus Carlsen is a pawn up against Alexander Grischuk, the man who has beaten him in the last round of Rapid. Tries to exchange the queens, obviously.
Magnus took another pawn.
Took on c3, so 2 pawns up. Yeah, if rook on e7 is taken, of course the rook on a1 is also hanging. The swap of the rooks, queen e8, a bit passive, but still good, 2 pawns up. Meanwhile, Sergei Karyakin made the draw against Wang Hao, that's what I was informed. Well, look, Alexander Grischuk is trying to arrange some counterplay. Magnus just snatches the 3rd pawn. Bishop takes a2.
Queen d4, now white wants to play h6 and some
h6
unpleasant...
is the idea. Queen takes a7, bishop to d5, and there might be some back rank issues as well. Bishop takes, pawn takes. Queen's endgame is always tricky. Okay, at least for us, for Maltans. I mean, I'm not sure. Maybe for Magnus it's just, a piece of cake. Takes, king to g3. It might have been wise to give a check on h4 first for Magnus Carlsen. Well, but looks like he's very comfortable. 2 pawns up. Well, winning position it has to be.
Why not b5? No, the b5 can be lost.
Yeah, you just give the pawn. Yeah, b6 check. King goes to g7. No checks anymore. Queen c7 is a bit annoying, but there is a check. Yeah, and b5. So he keeps both pawns. Well, and I've got incredible news. Pia Kramling has won yet another game with the black pieces, so she keeps leading and might even extend her lead. While Grischuk stands no chance anymore after queen d4. Impressive play by Magnus, and white is impressive because I have no clue what has happened in this game. I mean, it looked like Grischuk came up with an interesting opening idea, it looked like a good initiative, and pam, after 5 moves, it was just...
I dislike queen a4, honestly.
Just 2 pawns up for Magnus. No, I think queen a4 was the idea he prepared at home, I'm sure. I mean, it looks like one of those weird computer moves. And I mean, Grischuk is a well-educated player of a classical style. So if he would not know that queen a4 is the move, he would never play it. Of course, you have developing moves like castle short or something. Okay. So anyway, what has happened. Magnus Carlsen wins. He's half a point closer to Sergei Karyakin after this game. Karyakin, to remind you, has made the draw. We can check what
about
Vashiela against Yu Yangi? Yeah, I'm just checking what happens. Vashiela is still playing against Yu Yangi.
Because he has now a good chance to become sole leader.
That's an interesting position, ladies and gentlemen. I think might be a draw, but I'm not entirely sure. And we are shown Jan Nepomniachtchi and his game against Zaven Andreasyan on board 6. So let me try to find this one. Yeah, that's the one. So Jan Nepomniachtchi has an extra pawn on the king side. I mean, 3 versus 1.
But this 6
white
pawn
still has,
looks very dangerous for
white still has the c pawn, which is... he wanted to move rook h2. That's interesting. Even on our digital board, you can see that rook moved to h2 and then he returns back. Check from c3, king e2. Now, if black takes on h3, he will have to give the knight, the bishop, I guess. Will have to give the bishop. No, that's better. Bishop b6, rook c6, rook d6. The last try, and black has to take it. So there are some chances still. f5, knight f2, for instance, you play Yeah, I mean, g4? No. No, first he wants to bring the king. I mean, it will be tough to organize g4 because what
if
white...
g4, if one pawn
white
is
needs,
exchanged, then the knight can be given for another pawn.
Absolutely.
And it's, white
the wrong corner.
Color,
the wrong corner. So the bishop of the dark square bishop and the h pawn will not win, of course, if the king is kept in a corner. But look, Nepomniachtchi has found a very, very nice resource. Very, very nice resource. And, well, he trapped the knight at some point, and he's winning, of course. Now he's winning, no questions asked. No, there won't be any chance. So Jan Nepomniachtchi wins with the black pieces. I'm checking the other results. A draw for Mamedyarov and Swidler. Liekwan Griem on board 4 has lost to Dingley Ren. So Dingley Ren comes closer to Karyakin. It's half a point difference only.